Slow down. These stories are old and in no hurry. 6 gentle myths from ancient India, told softly. Close your eyes if you like. We will do the telling. The Queen's Lullaby. Princess Madalasa married King Ritadvaja and entered a palace of power, duty, and expectation. When her first son was born, the palace expected songs of victory. Madalasa sang something stranger. She sang, "You are pure, awake, and stainless. The body is passing, the self is free." One by one, her first sons grew up hearing that truth and chose renunciation over the throne. The king grew worried. A kingdom also needs someone to protect it and carry duty. When the 4th son, Alarka, was born, Madalasa changed the lesson without betraying the truth. She taught Alarka to rule, but not to mistake the crown for the self. Duty could be yoga. Alarka learned statecraft, restraint, and compassion. He would live in the world without being owned by it. Madalasa gave him a secret teaching for the day worldly life would confuse him. Remember who you are beneath the role. Alarka became king, not because he forgot the lullaby, but because he carried it into action. Teach a child they are more than achievement, and they may serve the world better, not worse. The royal secret is not escape or ambition. Know you are free, then choose your duty with love. The Old Friend. Sudama lived in poverty, but he carried the memory of his childhood friend Krishna. His wife asked him to visit Krishna in Dwaraka, not as a beggar, but as a friend. They had only a little beaten rice to send as a gift. Sudama was ashamed of its smallness. Sudama reached the palace of Dwaraka, unsure if a king would remember a poor school friend. Krishna saw him and ran. The Lord of Dwaraka embraced Sudama like no time had passed. Krishna washed Sudama's feet with tears of affection. Poverty and wealth both disappeared before friendship. Krishna found the hidden bundle and ate it with delight. To him, love was not small. Sudama never asked for wealth. Yet when he returned, grace had already arrived. Real friendship is not a transaction. Sometimes the bravest thing is to show up honestly. The Wife Who Followed Death. In the deep forest, Princess Savitri first saw Satyavan, a young prince in exile, chopping wood for his blind father, but his face bright with grace and joy. The sage Narada warned Savitri's father, "Satyavan is wonderful in every way, but he has only 1 year to live. Choose anyone else for your daughter." Savitri had already heard. She looked at her father and spoke calmly. "I have chosen once, and the good do not choose twice." They were married and lived joyfully in the forest. Savitri served her parents-in-law with devotion, loved her husband fully, and counted the days with a steady heart. On the fated day, Satyavan went to cut wood as always. Midway through, he set down his axe and lay his head in Savitri's lap. He grew pale and still. A dark figure appeared before them. Yama, the Lord of Death, come to take Satyavan's soul. Savitri rose and began to follow him. Yama offered her boons to turn back. Savitri asked for her father-in-law's sight and his kingdom restored. Yama granted both, then asked her to return home. Still she followed. As her final boon, Savitri asked to be the mother of 100 sons with Satyavan. Yama granted it, then paused, for he had just ensured Satyavan must live. Yama smiled and released Satyavan's soul. "He who defeats death with wisdom deserves victory," he said. Satyavan opened his eyes in the forest, and Savitri held him. The Mustard Seed. Kisagotami carried her dead child from door to door, begging for medicine that could bring him back. The Buddha listened with compassion and said, "Bring me a mustard seed from a house where no one has died." At the first house, they had mustard seed, but they had also lost a father. At the next house, a child. At another, a mother. Every home had a story. As night fell, Kisagotami stopped searching for a house untouched by death. She laid her child down with tenderness. Love remained, but the impossible demand began to loosen. She returned to the Buddha, not with a mustard seed, but with understanding. No one escapes loss. In modern grief, we can feel singled out by pain. This story lets grief find company. The mustard seed was never the cure. The cure was seeing that shared sorrow can become compassion. The elephant who let go. Gajendra was the mighty king of elephants, lord of the forest and the river. Proud and powerful, he strode to a lotus lake to bathe with his herd. The lake was full of lotuses and cool water. Gajendra played joyfully, splashing water over his back, unaware of what lurked beneath the surface. A mighty crocodile seized Gajendra's leg from below, dragging him into the deep. Gajendra roared and pulled, but the grip did not loosen. The struggle lasted for 1,000 years. The crocodile's power grew in water as Gajendra's strength slowly faded. No rescue came from his herd. As his final strength ebbed, Gajendra lifted a lotus flower above the water with his trunk. In his heart, he cried out to the formless eternal Lord, the one who needs no name. Vishnu heard before the prayer was finished. He rushed so swiftly that he left heaven itself, still riding his great eagle, the disc in his hand blazing with divine light. Vishnu's Sudarshana chakra flew from his hand and severed the crocodile's grip in a single moment. The waters blazed with golden light. Vishnu lifted Gajendra from the water and placed his hand upon the elephant's head. Gajendra was freed of every burden, his soul at last set free. The crocodile too was freed from his curse. He was revealed as Huhu, a Gandharva condemned by a sage to that form. Vishnu's grace liberated them both. And the boy who questioned death. The old priest Vajashravas performed the Vishwajit sacrifice, giving away all his possessions to earn merit. But his gifts were worn-out cows, dry and old. His young son Nachiketa watched, troubled. Nachiketa asked his father 3 times, "And to whom will you give me?" In anger, Vajashrava snapped, "I give you to Yama, to death itself." Nachiketa walked alone to Yama's realm, the dark land of the dead. He sat at the door and waited, patient and unafraid. Yama was away for 3 days. When he returned to find the young boy waiting, he was ashamed and offered 3 boons in amends. For the first boon, Nachiketa asked for his father's peace of heart. For the second, he asked for the sacred fire of knowledge that leads to heaven, and Yama taught it gladly. For the third boon, Nachiketa asked, "Tell me what lies beyond death." Yama offered kingdoms, wealth, and pleasures. Nachiketa refused them all. Yama tested Nachiketa again and again, and again and again the boy held firm. Delighted, Yama said, "You are the student who knows what to ask." Then Yama revealed the great secret. The self is not born and does not die. Older than time, eternal beyond all change, it cannot be slain. Nachiketa returned to his father transformed, carrying the knowledge that outlasts death. He who knows the self as eternal, the wise say, grieves no more. Nachiketa had gone to death and come back with life's deepest truth. The stories are done. The lamps are out. Sleep well.